Welcome, everyone, to the Deep Dive. Today, we're heading into some pretty dark territory, looking at some of humanity's more chilling moments and experiences. This isn't just reciting grim facts. We're trying to get under the skin of true stories, cruelty, obsession, the really unsettling unknown, how evil shows up, systemic terror, personal revenge, hidden monsters, or just that creepy psychological obsession. Yeah, these are disturbing stories, definitely.
Yeah.
But the mission here is to try and grasp the depth of it all and maybe what it tells us about, well, ourselves.
Exactly. And sometimes the biggest insights, the toughest questions about who we are, come from looking right at the most unsettling stuff. It makes you look past the what and ask why. Why do these things happen? Why do they stick with us?
Okay, let's start with a name that, well, still sends chills down your spine. Tomás de Torquemada. Synonymous with the Spanish Inquisition, right? But his early life, it seems like it pointed us over totally different. Born 1420, Spain, family were Jewish converts to Christianity. His uncle was a cardinal. You'd think piety. But how fast did that pious image crumble into something terrifying?
Oh, incredibly fast and dramatically. Torquemada's rise was, well, meteoric. He was known for this intense religious conformity, even young, became prior of Santa Cruz Monastery quickly, and the really crucial part, he got close to power. Became confessor and advisor to the young Princess Isabella. Huge influence.
Right.
And the paradox, like you said, is staggering. His own family were conversos, converts, but his absolute most vicious hatred reserved for the Moranos. These were Jews who converted publicly, but Torquemada believed practiced Judaism in secret. To him, that was the ultimate betrayal, a direct insult to God.
And this personal hatred just slotted right into the politics of the time, didn't it?
Absolutely. The backdrop was the Spanish crown desperately wanting to, quote, purify Catholic Spain. Ferdinand and Isabella actually pleaded with the Pope for an inquisition. So in 1478, a papal bull gives them the green light to appoint inquisitors. And who do they pick?
Torquemada, of course.
Naturally, Grand Inquisitor. And in just 15 years, he turns it from one tribunal into this nationwide machine. Over 20 outposts, all with one goal: wipe out heresy. It basically weaponized faith itself, turned it into pure terror.
And the methods under him, systematically terrifying. They start with this kind of fake mercy, a grace period. Confess your supposed sins early. Maybe you just pay a fine, small one. But after that, if you were caught doing anything heretical, public shaming, big time. Paraded in the San Benito, that yellow robe with the red cross, worse offenders, forced self-whipping with cords aimed right at the back of the knees till you couldn't walk.
Yeah, these weren't slaps on the wrist. They were designed to utterly break people, physically and socially.
But if you denied everything, that's when the real nightmares started.
Right.
Torture. And the Inquisition had these famous strict conditions, right? Only with sufficient proofs after negotiation failed. And here's the twisted part. No maiming, no mutilating, no drawing blood. That was the rule.
Which paradoxically just made them more creative and prolonged the agony. They had professional torturers, compiling hundreds of these, quote, bloodless methods. You could be tortured like 15 minutes at a time, up to 8 sessions. Physician present, supposedly ensuring no serious injuries. But the injuries, they were life-altering, often fatal later from infections or internal stuff.
So what were some of these devices?
Well, they were horrifyingly ingenious in causing pain without visible blood. You had El Strapado, victims hoisted up, hands tied behind them, add weights to the feet, shoulders just pop out of their sockets, permanent nerve damage, ligaments, tendons, ruined.
God.
Then the water cure. Strapped down, massive amounts of water funneled into them, 30 pints sometimes, caused violent vomiting, ruptured organs, and fatal water intoxication. Hyponatremia, it's called.
Just awful.
The head crusher, pretty much what it sounds like. A vice crushing the skull slowly, shattered teeth, immense pressure. Sometimes the eyeballs could pop out. Just catastrophic internal damage.
And the cradle of Judas.
Maybe the worst. The cradle of Judas. Victims stripped, forced onto this sharp iron pyramid point. Ropes and pulleys forced them down deeper. It caused penetration, horrific internal bleeding, infection, all while somehow sticking to that no blood rule. It's just chilling. Shows what humans are capable of.
And Torquemada himself just ignored rules left and right. The Pope, Sixtus, reprimanded him 3 separate times.
3 times.
Yet Isabella and Ferdinand always defended him, said his zeal was just, love for Christ. He died in 1498. Thousands dead because of him. And he apparently thought he was heading straight to God's right hand. The disconnect is staggering.
Utterly. A warped reality.
Okay, shifting gears now. From that kind of calculated institutional horror, we go to something more personal. Brutal vengeance, psychological warfare. Picture Wallachia, June 1462. The Ottoman army, huge force under Sultan Mehmed II marching in, expecting an easy win against some local lord.
But the journey in is hellish, constant night ambushes, and then this truly horrifying tactic.
Biological warfare, basically.
Yeah. Using bubonic plague sufferers, disguised, sent into the Ottoman ranks to spread the disease, men were just dropping like flies. A really grim sign of what was coming.
So they finally reached the capital, Targovist, and the gates are just open. City's deserted, not a soul. Initially, the soldiers cheer. Easy victory, right? But it's not a victory parade. It feels more like a funeral procession. The silence must have been deeply unnerving.
And what they found next, it's burned into history. The forest of the dead.
20,000 bodies.
20,000 impaled Ottoman soldiers lining the main road into the city. And the method, vertical impalement. Carefully done to pierce non-fatal organs, meaning they'd suffer for days alive on those stakes. The stench alone, unimaginable. Apocalyptic.
Wow.
Even for battle-hardened veterans, this was too much. Reports say some went mad on the spot, vomiting, weeping, broken men.
And this was all Vlad. Deliberate.
Absolutely. Pure psychological warfare, designed to shatter the morale of an entire army without even fighting them directly. Terrifyingly effective.
And Vlad's hatred, it came from somewhere specific, didn't it? It wasn't just random cruelty.
Exactly. He wasn't just born a monster. He'd spent years, maybe 10 to 15 years of his youth, as a political hostage of the Sultan.
Okay.
While there, he apparently got really into martial arts, military strategy, but it festered. It was revenge. Calculated revenge for his captivity and for his father and older brother being killed. He learned the Ottomans' ways, then turned them back on them, adding his own uniquely horrific signature.
And there are other stories, right?
Yeah.
Just as grim.
Oh, yeah. Rumors abound. Impaling Saxon settlers, burning their kids alive in front of them.
The copper cauldron.
Boiling enemies alive, watching them scream. And that truly grotesque story about impaling pregnant women in a specific, awful way. Just unspeakable.
How did he get the name Dracula?
That comes partly from these acts solidifying his reputation, but also the famous story of the Sultan's emissaries. They refused to take off their turbans in his presence, out of respect for their own customs. Vlad's response. He had their turbans nailed to their heads, with 3 iron bolts each, while they were still alive, then sent them back.
Jesus.
It's acts like that cemented his terrifying image. Dracula comes from Dracul, meaning son of the dragon. His father was in the Order of the Dragon. But it quickly became synonymous with inhuman evil. He basically cultivated his own monster myth.
Right. Okay, let's shift again, dramatically. To someone who seemed the absolute opposite of a monster, Karl Denke, born 1860, Germany, inherited money, known in his town as Papa Denke, like universally loved.
Seemingly.
Yeah, seemingly. Pious, played the church organ, known for helping the homeless, giving out food, sometimes a place to stay. Rosy cheeks, warm smile, the whole package.
A perfect mask.
A chillingly perfect mask. It only slipped on December 21st, 1924, just before Christmas. A neighbor hears this blood-curdling scream from Denke's house, like a final mortal sound.
Isn't it?
Finds young homeless guy, head nearly split open, dying. But before he dies, he gasps out 2 words. Papa Denke.
And that's when the mask shattered. The police investigation. Just horrifying. They searched his place, found hidden ID papers, a dozen missing people, lots of small men's clothing items.
Or the kitchen.
The kitchen, 2 big vinegar barrels full of these large chunks, looked like pork, pickled pork.
Oh, God.
Police hoped maybe it was just, cured meat, but no. It was human remains, pickled human remains.
How many victims?
They found his notebook, a small ledger, meticulously detailed, names, ages, dates he killed them, even which body parts he'd harvested and pickled. Up to 30 people listed.
30.
Yeah. Clearly, the pickling was to preserve them, let him consume them over time. It's methodical, industrial almost.
And did they ever find out why?
No. Denke hanged himself in his cell the very first night.
Yeah.
Took his motives with him.
Which is terrifying in itself. The why remains unknown. Just the horrifying what.
But the absolute most grotesque part came out after he died.
That gets worse.
Papa Denke, the beloved charity case. He hadn't just killed and eaten these poor guys, he'd been feeding them to other people. Mostly the other homeless people he supposedly helped. He'd give them little jars of his pickled pork. Nutritious protein, he probably said.
It was never pork.
Never pork. He was feeding the homeless to each other. The ultimate betrayal of trust. Imagine finding that out.
Yeah. Munsterberg didn't have a very Merry Christmas that year, I bet. Especially anyone who tasted Papa Denke's pork.
Yeah.
Just stomach churning.
Truly.
Okay, let's move into the modern era now with a different kind of horror.
Psychological.
Insidious. This is a university student's story, an encounter with obsession that just completely twisted reality.
Starts innocently. Right.
Yeah, seemingly harmless friendship with this girl, Lily. Persistent lunch invites after class, connected fast on social media even though they had no friends in common. Little flags, maybe?
Then signs of possessiveness started creeping in.
Yeah, Lily would hint about having a crush. And she got visibly uncomfortable whenever the narrator mentioned her girlfriend, who, weirdly enough, had the same name, Lily.
That's odd.
Right, she'd make weird jokes like, the girlfriend didn't suit the name Lily. Just
And then things escalated.
big time. Last day of class. Lily asked the narrator to go for a walk in the woods near campus. Out of nowhere, Lily forces a kiss on the narrator, just grabs and kisses them. Super uncomfortable. The narrator just wanted it to be over, hoped that was the end of it.
But it wasn't the end. It was just the start of something really disturbing.
How so?
Later, the narrator discovers Lily's Tumblr blog. And it's a shrine, all
Yeah.
cutesy, pink and red, but dedicated entirely to the narrator.
Oh, wow.
And it was obsessive, tracking every detail of the narrator's life, online, offline, hoarding information. She rewrote their interactions. Lunch wasn't just lunch, it was a special date, that forced kiss. Suddenly it was mutual, something they both wanted. Completely. Vicious posts about the narrator's new boyfriend, saying he wasn't worthy, didn't know how lucky he was, and maybe the weirdest part, she'd post the narrator's own photos, but claim they were shared by a fictional best friend persona she'd created for the narrator. So in Lily's head, the narrator was split. One part was this perfect best friend looking out for Lily. The other was the soulmate she was destined for.
That's deeply fractured.
And she was getting validation. Random people online were agreeing with her, feeding the delusion.
Did the narrator try to confront her?
Yeah, I tried to talk to her about the blog, but Lily just blanked. Changed the subject like it didn't exist.
Wow.
The blog got deleted eventually, but the stalking just moved offline. Lily started trying to seduce the narrator's boyfriend, other friends too, even sabotaged a career opportunity. Just relentless interference.
Just wouldn't let go.
Never. Years later, there was this one last really unsettling conversation. Lily messages out of the blue, asks about the narrator's bisexuality, then suddenly says she wants to be a boy for the narrator. Describes these really disturbing fantasies. Okay, that's intense.
And then the truly chilling bit. She starts role-playing as the narrator.
Yeah.
Quoting things the narrator had said in the past, but acting like they were her own memories.
Like she was trying to absorb their identity.
Exactly. Trying to take over their history, become them. It was so creepy. Even now, 12 years later, Lily occasionally pops up, sends friend requests. That fear, that presence, it just lingers.
That's a haunting kind of obsession. Leaves a deep scar.
Okay, one last story for today. This one's raw, street-level horror. Reno, Nevada, 2003. Two friends, bit buzzed after a night out. They decide to cut through Douglas Alley. Bad idea. Dark, damp, smelly, flickering lights. You know the kind of place. Instantly regrettable.
Yeah, you feel that instinct to avoid it.
So they're walking through, deeper in, and they see this dark shape moving strangely near a dumpster. What catches their eye is flickering candlelight. Odd.
Then they hear it.
This sinister, just deranged laugh echoing in the alley, followed by a sound like a drill.
A drill.
Yeah. As they get closer, the candlelight shows this figure crouched down doing something.
And what they saw, just pure nightmare fuel. A guy, dark, torn clothes, wearing this absolutely terrifying mask. The narrator described it as like a mix of Anubis and Pinhead from Hellraiser.
Oh, man.
And he's drilling vigorously into a human upper torso lying on the ground with some kind of blade attached to the drill, just desecrating it sadistically.
Unbelievable. What do they do? The narrator, just on pure impulse, yells at the guy, confronts him.
Takes guts, or maybe just adrenaline.
Maybe both. The man slowly stands up, raises the drill like a weapon, but as the narrator rushes him, the guy drops it, turns bolts.
And runs right into a barbed wire fence, impales himself trying to get away.
Karma, maybe. Did he survive?
He did. Major injuries, but survived. Police got involved, obviously. And his story was just bizarre. Claimed a friend killed the victim, and he was just desecrating the body as some kind of sadistic sacrifice for purification.
Deification.
Yeah. They found a pentagram drawn under the body. It sounds like something scripted, but this was real.
So did they catch the killer? What happened to the victim? That's the chilling part. The guy, the desecrator, was charged. Desecration of a corpse, drug offenses, but the murder itself,
Yeah.
still unsolved.
Still unsolved.
The victim was identified, eventually. Only as Hope, she was a cocktail server. They found her uniform, her ruby red heels nearby. But no other body parts were ever recovered. Her killer is still out there.
So no justice for Hope.
Not yet. The narrator, the one who intervened, still lights a candle for her every year around her birthday. Hopes one day her killer will be found. Gives her soul some peace.
It's a stark reminder, isn't it? Some horrors just leave these open wounds, unresolved darkness, proof that not all monsters get caught or even understood.
Wow. We've covered a lot of ground today. Some really disturbing stuff, from Torquemada's systematic terror and Vlad's psychological warfare.
To the hidden evil of someone like Papadinka, weaponizing trust itself.
And that deeply unsettling modern obsession, Lily's story, where reality just completely fractured. And finally, that raw, unresolved street horror in Reno.
What connects them, I think, isn't just the brutality, it's how perception gets twisted. Whether it's faith turned into terror, or trust becoming a weapon, or reality itself breaking down under obsession.
Yeah.
These stories show how distorted thinking, how vulnerability can fuel the absolute worst acts. They make you ask not just what a monster is, but how they come to be. And maybe what it is in us or in society that allows that darkness to even take root. It's not just about historical monsters, is it? It's about the potential that's always there.
A heavy thought to end on. Thank you for joining us on this intense deep dive. We hope exploring these dark corners gives you something to think about. Until next time, stay curious and please stay safe out there.